Hello, awesome viewers, welcome to AC Studio. In this video, we're gonna look at the champion brother Varus of the Ultramarines army. And for those who has recently watched my latest video, you probably have already know that I got really annoyed with one figure. That is, champion brother Varus. So this is the figure that I really annoyed with because of the shoulder pad design, and that restrict the arm movements. And if you remember at the end of that video, I actually saying, I put all my expectation into this, the brother Varus. So I hope this figure will able to meet my expectation. So now let's have a look at the box. And this is just a typical box again from joytoy, and nothing really special, but you can see the champion got quite a lot of accessories. Actually, he got quite a number of exchangeable hands, so interesting. So why not have a look at it straight away and open it. Once again, we get a clear base, and I'm gonna throw this away because I rarely use it. And let's have a look at the figure. So this is what we see in the box itself, and alright, so this is what it is in the box. Alright, and let's take it out and have a look. Okay, let's have a look at the accessories first. So these are the accessories. So what we have here is the bolt pistol, which is in red rather than typical black, because it is the champion's weapon. And then you got this very nice, emblem here. So everything looks nice on the bolt pistol. And then you got this, I think it's a bracelet, that you put it on the arms. So you either put it in there, which I need to pull this out. So I'll put that out. So you put it in there. Depends on how you put it. And then put this back. That's it. And like that. And next we have the Sacred Power Mold. And I love this detail on the skull. It got a little spike thingy on it. Looks really nice. And the rhombus shape, patterns on the handle. Looks really nice. I really like this. And that is very fine detail. That looks really good as well. So everything comes together really nicely here. Nice. And then what we have is, as you can see, exchangeable hands. So you got 3 hands on the left, and then here we got 4 choice of hands on the right. So what we have is the one that holding a pistol. So let's put that in there. See the posture, right? The way it holds the gun is much better. It looks more realistic here. You see, there's no gap whatsoever. So they have definitely improved on that. See, that's very nice. And then we have a fist, or 2 fists, and one holding the mold, and the other one here holding the mold as well. And apparently this hand is exactly the same as the intercessor number 2 hand. So they look the same. And now let's have a look at the details. So please enjoy the next 30 seconds of the details, and I'll come back to you and tell you what I think. First thing that I noticed in this figure is the face. What the hell is going on with the face? It just doesn't look right. If you look at the illustration in the box, right? Look, that looks really nice. Look at the weathering, which is done really nicely, right? And what's wrong with this face here? Look at it. It looks different from this. They put too much weathering on it. If you look at the teeth here, look at the weathering, right? It's all over the places. I mean, it looks like you got this teeth cavity problem or something like that.
Thompson's teeth, the only teeth strong enough to eat other teeth.
And also the railing between the eyes above the nose is too obvious, right? You see, look at that little bit of weathering here, right? And look at that. How come so strong? And the first time when I look at it, I was saying, oh my god, it looks ugly. So I think what I need to do is to, do some kind of like repainting on the face, and to make sure each teeth are more well defined. Look at that. Look at this black part here. Look at that. Just really wrong. Okay, the headpiece is an angle. It is on soft plastic, but it's actually quite sharp, so you need to be careful when you touch the spikes, right? So this whole piece is on soft plastic and attached to the backpack. And then look at the back of the backpack, and you can rotate the exhaust. That's not an issue. Yep, and it's just ordinary. And again, the same issue exists on all the Intercessor number 2 figures, right? Look at this little gap in between, right? It shouldn't have a gap in between. And then we have this beautiful, I don't know, a Bible or book. I really like the look of this Bible, and this is soft plastic as well. Very good. And Rarest, shoulder pad, look very nice. Silver and gold comes together, looks really good actually. And Ultramarines emblem or icon or symbol. And then what we have is the scroll on his chest. Now this time it is not on a ball joint or anything like that. So that's just directly attached, glue onto the chest piece. And it is obviously different to the champion in the Terminator armor. This one is on a ball joint. And this chest piece looks really nice, and also it has these big gun sleeves, right, or pockets, on its waist. So it is a separate piece, and it doesn't affect any, legs movement or anything like that, because it is actually loose, so which is really good. Yep, and then you got this apron piece again, and this chain, and they're actually quite soft. And the apron piece is roughly 1 millimeter thick, so that's actually quite thin. Very soft as well, so it doesn't really affect the legs movement. And then you got this very nice coat, which got very nice, like skull emblem all along the edges, right? And that looks really cool to me. Look at that. And this is also on soft plastic as well, actually equally as thin as this one. So yep, so that's very nice. And also look at the legs here, right? It is in different shape, a unique shape as compared to other Space Marines. And now look at the articulation. So everything in this figure is similar to a typical Space Marine figure anyway. So I'm not going to go through them in details. And I only look at things that are unique in this figure, which is like, for example, the head piece is different from other head piece, and the head movement is very good. You can turn 360 without any issues, and then it can look down quite a bit, quite well. And also it can look up a bit as well. I'll try to move the head forward a little bit so I can get a maximum angle. Yep. Okay, that's not too bad. And on this figure, it has this unique chest piece, and it's still got the mid-torso ball joint and the waist joint as well. So it can tilt up, but because of the belt piece here, it cannot do ab crunch at all. So it doesn't able to bend down. So it can do this, and that's it. And this piece, as I mentioned before, is only 1 millimeter thick, so it's actually quite thin, and this is actually quite soft as well. So I can just push this up, right, and the gun sleeve doesn't really affect the movement, you see. So what happens is you can actually kick up high, I think. Okay, don't kick up very high. Once you kick up high, you see the waist joint come off. So let me put this back there again. So you cannot really able to kick too high though. So alright. And the Bible here is on the ball joint, which you attach onto the hole in the belt. In terms of finishes, the finishes, just a typical black, so it doesn't have any weathering on it. There are no highlighting on the edges, so but that is fine. That's not an issue. I actually think it's better if they don't highlight black. And as mentioned before, the ugly face, right? Will they have to repaint, this face in order to get the same effect as the one in the box art. I do notice that they did, apply the metallic colors on the eyes. It is not too obvious, but it is there. And also we have a very nice, weathering on this. The way they paint it is like jade. So it looks really nice. And look at the writings on the script here, right? At first I thought that this is just, flat paint on the script. But even all these little writings are actually recess details, so that is amazing, right? I did not expect that. But if you look far away, it doesn't look like recess, but they are in fact recess details. That's amazing, and they're very soft as well. And the chest piece here, you see the weathering, the brown wash on the gaps, but there's no more colors. There's either brown wash or this skull color. And in the middle, there's no weathering in the middle part of it as well. They did paint the black onto the eyes of the skull, nothing more. So I wish they apply a little bit of weathering here, make it looks good, because this part is probably one of the most obvious part, because it stands right in the middle of the figure. And the coloring on this looks really good. This one, I don't know why this one's painted really well and that one it doesn't. So anyway, and the coat, the highlighting is a little bit poorly painted, but again, as I said, this is a toy, so that is okay. At least they try to paint it like, leather. I think the surface finish here, that definitely looks like real leather. And the painting on this book or the Bible looks really, really nice. This is probably one of the best looking paint finish on a Bible. And on the bracelet here, there are very slight black wash on it, which is good. Well, I think this figure, as compared to the Terminator Chaplain, of course, the details is not as good as the Chaplain, because the Chaplain just got really, really great details. As per my review video on the Chaplain, I reckon this is probably one of the best figure in terms of details. Absolutely amazing, like shoulder pad design. And of course, this one is not as amazing as this figure, right? However, at least it doesn't have any fundamental issues, as in, for example, the articulation issues or fixed shoulder pad. It doesn't have the same issue as this Chaplain here, right? The only concern I have is I'm quite sure most of the people has different facial, finishes, because, this wash is hand painted, onto the figure in the factory. So, it won't be consistent for sure. And if you look at my one here, it all over the places, and it doesn't look, exactly as what is shown in the box art. But otherwise, I would say this figure is a nice figure. It is not extraordinary. I actually don't see the reason why you should get this, to be honest. And honestly, yes, even though this shoulder pad is really crap, but because of the look of this figure, it's so good that, I think this is no matter a much better Chaplain figure than the virus. But of course, this is my opinion. It depends. For example, I may criticize this, but at least I still got two of them, and I think it'll look really good with my Land Raider as well. In a way, this figure didn't really give me much excitement. Maybe because this figure has already excited me. I got really pissed off at the shoulder, so that's why I can't look at it and go, oh yeah, everything's good, yeah, okay, fine, boring, yeah. And this one, makes you angry, so which is good. Now comes to the end of this video, so anyway, please let me know what you think. I will speak to you next time. Bye for now.